What's going on?
Pack your bags. We're off to Peel.
Excellent.
We're off to Sunset City on the Isle of Man, otherwise known as Peel. The Isle of Man is an island right bang in the middle of the Irish Sea, between the UK and Ireland. Peel is on the west of the island. Welcome to Peel, or Falt Ort in Manx Gaelic. Peel is an absolute cracker, a fishing port popping with Celtic and Viking history, ancient castle, stunning beach, marina, cracking music and nightlife, and Kippers. Get yourself to Peel, you won't regret it. So, where do we start with Peel? St. Patrick's Isle, of course. It's where it all began. That's the small island huddled up on Peel's coast and home to the stunning ruins of Peel Castle. St. Patrick's Isle is connected to Peel by a causeway these days, but it used to be a separate island. Stone tools found on St. Patrick's Isle point to this being a haven for Stone Age hunters and gatherers. Some thousands of years later, in the 5th century, St. Patrick himself arrived to the isle, hence its name. Fast forward 100 years more, and a Celtic monastery of monks from Ireland settled here on St. Patrick's Isle. And how are you settling in there, Pedro?
This really wastes our time, you know. What you've got in here?
What a lightweight. Let's head back to the castle. This round tower is the oldest surviving building on St. Patrick's Isle and was built around the time the Vikings were first making an appearance on the horizon. Round towers like this are normally found in Ireland, and they were built not just as lookout posts, but they were sort of the panic room of their day. Any sign of trouble, the monks would grab their belongings and make a quick exit to the round tower. Check out the door. It's set about 10 foot up off the ground, which makes it extra tricky for Viking raiders to ram down the door. Do you believe in ghosts? Apparently, there's a dog that haunts the castle. He's known as the Moddey Dhoo, Manx Gaelic for black dog. Let's head to the 1700s, where reports from the castle here tell of a dog ghost settling himself by the fire every night in the guard's chamber, just minding his own business. Till one night, a drunken guard shambled in, broke normal protocol for locking the castle, got the fright of his life from what we don't know. He remained speechless and died 3 days later. The Moddey Dhoo was blamed. It's always the dog that gets the blame. I'm sure he's a good dog. There's no such thing as a bad dog. It's all down to how humans treat them. Isn't that right?
What's in the suitcase, anyway?
All will be revealed. Stand on St. Patrick's Isle and breathe in the aura and history. It really is a very special place. Over the centuries, St. Patrick's Isle became one of the key religious sites in all of the British Isles. That's the ruins of the 12th century St. Germans Cathedral, built when this island had already been taken over by the Norse kings. It was actually an incredibly important building within the Celtic Church and Catholic Church back then, as the main cathedral HQ for the Isle of Man, the Outer Hebrides, most of the Inner Hebrides, and the Isles of Bute and Arran. What a stunning location! A footpath skirts the curtain walls of the castle, dishing out some amazing views, and if you're lucky, you might spot a seal or two. The starting point for that walk is right next to Finel Beach. The beach formed when the causeway joining St. Patrick's Isle to the Isle of Man was built. Have you read Sir Walter Scott's Peveril of the Peak? Well, the beach is named after a character in that.
This is getting heavier and heavier.
Talking of building up a sweat, if it's a hot sunny day on the Isle of Man, yep, we get some of those from time to time. Peel's main beach and prom is bucket and spade and ice cream central. It's one of the most popular beaches on the island. With Peel being on the west coast, it's also a magnet for folk wanting to catch the last of the sun's rays on a warm day. They don't call it Sunset City for nothing.
Whew, this suitcase is so heavy. It's making me thirsty.
Funny you should say that, because the iconic Creek pub on the quayside is a great spot to sip beer as the sun sets. Wander along the quay and onto the prom and you'll find some other gems. Veering up through the winding streets of old fishermen cottages, you'll discover a whole bundle of treasures, like the Peel Centenary Centre, a thriving arts centre with a full programme of gigs, films and a whole lot more. And just up the road from there is the White House, a 19th century pub and frequent winner of the Isle of Man Camera Pub of the Year. Or there's the Central on Castle Street, established in 1608. It's one of the oldest pubs on the island. Apparently, there's an entrance to an old smuggler's tunnel just around the back. A tunnel system is said to thread all the way from the old quayside up to the old warehouses on Castle Street. Let's head back to the quay overland to the Black Dog Oven, a top venue for beers, wood-fired pizza and superb live music. Yep, for a cracking night out, you really are spoilt for choice in Peel. Oh, let's dust off those cobwebs and grab a coffee.
Whew. Can we open the suitcase yet?
Not yet. First, let's head to the House of Manannan. That's it there, in prime position, right bang on the quayside. Part of the building used to be Peel train station, when you could travel to Peel by steam train. But let's travel much further back in time. Let the centuries evaporate and immerse yourself in the sounds and smells of the life-sized Iron Age roundhouse inside the House of Manannan. Cozy on up, listen to a legend while storms rattle outside. Then journey forwards to the Viking longhouse. And shimmy on round a replica of Odin's Raven, a replica Viking boat that sailed from Norway to the Isle of Man in 1979 to celebrate a millennium of Tynwald, the oldest continuous parliament in the world, initially set up by the Vikings. What's that smell? Breathe in the bustling fishing port of Peel in the 1800s. Kipper production started somewhere around the 1870s. Kippers, or smoked herring, are a traditional breakfast in the Isle of Man, and Manx kippers produced in Peel are exported all around the world. 3 generations of my family were smoking kippers in Peel for over 100 years. Peel was home to my dad's, his Uncle Johnny's and his granddad's business, Curtis Kippers, which sort of always makes Peel feel like home. So it's a good spot to unpack our suitcase. The sea has always been the beating heart of Peel, from its earliest inhabitants of hunter-gatherers to the Irish monks seeking a safe haven, to the Vikings, to the fishermen, to all who sail and swim in her, to Manannan, the Celtic sea god, from whom the Isle of Man gets its name.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Right, we're off to take a ski at another part of the island. Come and join us.